Today I'm going to explain to you why making change in life is so difficult. Why so many of us want change and why it's so hard to make change. The things that get in your way internally or externally, how to remove, overcome them and get through them to the other side. And the main reason why when people want to change, why they struggle so goddamn hard. From trying to lose weight for 20 years to trying to get a business off the ground, to try to change their behaviors, their patterns, their reactivity in moments, why this can be so challenging and why people can get stuck in a cycle and never truly see change. If you can understand the concepts that I share in here and notice when they're coming up in your life, you will see change, you will see results, you will have a better life, you will attract a high-level partner, you will deepen your relationship, you will get paid more money, you will get a better job, you will get that business off the ground, you will get in the best shape of your life. All of these things are on the other side of your current identity. And how do we change that? Externally, putting ourselves into controlled, stressful applications, seeing what comes up, choosing what we do, picking a new story, and getting a new result. You can make change. Right now, things you can implement from this episode to start getting either back on top or get to that next level, or finally let go of, or overcome, or get past that current thing that is nagging you. And when I say nagging you, I'm speaking to the internal voice. There's that internal voice that you're going back and forth with every single day, thinking you should, you could, or maybe you will one day. I'm going to be showing you how to understand that and how to overcome that. Sounds like a lot, I know. But a little bit of coffee, you can take on the world. On one of the earlier episodes, you can check that out in the link here, we spoke about the void. You know, when you really want to get to a different place in life and how to get there, how to acquire the skills, how to put yourself in new circles, environments to be able to make that happen. You can check out the episode of the podcast, or if you're on your YouTube, you can check out the link above. Today, I'm going to be breaking down for you the step-by-step transition phase on why that can be really, really challenging. And one of the concepts out there that exists is known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. Now, I'll throw a little graph up for the guys on the video here. So there's a bell graph showing right at the start for you guys listening. A bell graph is when there's a straight line and it looks like it creates a hump and then comes back down. And what it shows is there's the perceived difficulty of a situation coming out of the side of the axis and going down and low, and also what it actually takes to achieve this task, this skill, this ability at a sporting event, this business, and it shoots up. So there's a big difference between your perceived ability you need and the perceived effort more so of what you need to put in to make this happen. An example I love to use is, it's called the Scallenge. It's Brian Scalappini, Andrew or Brian Scalappini. He was a guy that went into the NBA, and when you look at over all the statistics, he was the lowest ranked player in the NBA. He averaged maybe a couple minutes a game, meaning he would only get on the court when a team would be up by a huge amount of points and they're pretty much certain a win. There are so many people, and this might be the same for you. You watch people build a business, you watch people play sport on TV, and you might sit there and think like, I reckon I could take him. I know some people that watch MMA fights and they think they would have a chance. Yet it's very hard to compare because you're looking at them against the other people in the best in the world. We just see the completed version of LeBron James. We just see the final version of Michael Jordan. And what happens in the Scallenge is that they get guys, Division I college athletes, they get retired professional athletes that may have played somewhere else in the world, and they get guys from local pickup games, your social basketball as well. And they go one-on-one, and they go, anyone that can beat him, I think they'll give him $5,000 or something. And not a single guy could barely even score a bucket on him. Like, couldn't even get 1 point, one-on-one. And this was like a direct reflection of the Dunning-Kruger effect at play. Like, people's perceived skill and effort required to do the job, beat Brian Scalappini, so much more was needed on them than what actually happened. Now, how does this translate to business and you making change? Well, so many people see the end goal and they don't see the shadows. They don't see what's happened behind the scenes for that person to make that happen. They haven't seen the relationships that are broken down, the mental health battles, the sacrifice of the things they really enjoy doing night after night after night. People don't see that. I know for me, when I wanted to become a videographer, I thought I was just going to pick up a camera and I would just start getting work and shooting. No, I spent hours. I would have spent upwards of 200 hours on YouTube tutorials, figuring out how to edit, how to shoot, how to even adjust. I went for a job. I applied for a job at Riderwear, and I done a 2-day trial shoot with them. They had some big names come. Lauren Simpson, not Jessica Simpson. That's not a person. Lauren Simpson, I think, came in, and a couple other like influencers in the space. At this point, when we talk about Dunning-Kruger effect, this was massive for me. My thought on what I needed and what I actually was completely off. Like, I thought I was so much above where I was currently at, and I could do good edits, yes. But then when they put a camera in my hand, set up the exposure myself, I was shooting everything on automatic. If anyone has shot cameras before, like, you can't just shoot on auto all the time if you're trying to create certain shots and depths of field and effects and things. And it was in that moment I was just like, oh shit, like I'm so out of my depth right now. Like I don't even know this basic thing. Yet I'm sitting there behind my laptop at home, not putting myself into a state, an environment that needed more of me, so I would never know. It's the same when we bring it back to basketball. If you're playing against a bunch of guys that have never played professionally in their life, and you're beating them every week on the court, well, you're going to start to build this false reality that you're better than what you are. We shouldn't compare to people around us, but by comparing to other humans in the world, it is a measuring stick, and it gives us an idea on the level we're playing at and our ability. Say, hypothetically, everyone in the world earns $400 a week, and you earn $600 a week. What does that say about you? That says that your skills that you bring to the world, you bring more value than everyone else in the world, meaning you're the best performing at business. Now, if everyone in the world earns $400 and you earn $200, what does that say about you? The value you bring to the marketplace is half that of everyone else in the world. And we can get caught up in this, comparison is the thief of joy, rinse and repeat quotes, but the reality is it is a measuring stick, because if everyone is at $400 and you're at $8, you're doing great. But if everyone is at $2,000 and you're at $800, you're not doing so great. We need to be able to look at the world objectively. So this is a conversation I always talk about, seeing the reality of the situation, not getting confused and blindsided by yourself with an over assumption of your skill set and what you do in the world. That is the Dunning-Kruger effect. When your perceived effort is much lower than what's actually needed, that is when that is coming into play. That is why so many people will try to start a business. They give it a week, they give it a few months, they invest a little bit of money, they only put 30, 40, 50, 100 hours into it, and they think, oh no, this thing doesn't work. No, everything works. Everything works. If you're building an online business, a monthly subscription model works. High ticket coaching works. Very low ticket $1, $2 ebooks work. Newsletters work. Building on social media works. Paid advertisement works. Influencer deals work. Word of mouth works. Like, it all works. It's not that one doesn't and one does. It's just that you haven't gone down far enough that avenue to see if that works for you. Or you've got the awareness that it's just not the thing for you and you change direction. But the effort is still required. If the journey is to launch and start a business, you try one avenue and that's not the thing for you. Well, that is when you need to confide and seek reflection in people in that space, so you can actually start to get a gauge of what is needed from you. Or maybe you've just tried to launch a program and you messaged 10 people and no one wrote back. Like, that isn't a big enough gauge to know if cold messaging or DMing your warm market will work. So first of all, the comparison thing is really great, because we're comparing to other people. What effort did you put in to make this happen? So we get a gauge, we get a measuring stick of what we need to put into this. I know for me, my first few businesses, I was like 3 weeks in, I'm like, where's the $1 million, bro? And when that expectation was reset, and we done this with a client recently as well, who's starting an e-com store, and his goal was to earn 10K a month in the space of a couple of months, 2-3 months. Yet he's a plumber. And I asked him, how long did it take you to earn $10,000 as a plumber, working 40-hour week in that? Well, it took him a few years. Now, There is a potentiality where you can earn a lot more money in e-com and you can scale it a lot more than just working, trading your time for money as a plumber. What this really comes back to is managing expectations. And when your expectations are so far above what your result or what your outcome is from the task you're trying to do, that is when it can be very disheartening. And if you're consistently trying to do something and you're never getting the result that you're expected to get, it can be very, very heavy. Like if you spend 20 years trying to get to a goal and you can't get there, it gets so heavy over time. And you have my full compassion in that. But it gets to a point where your own self-awareness needs to come into play. Is this something I truly want? What am I doing wrong? What do I need to change? What do I need to shift? Or maybe this goal, I'm not the person I need to be to achieve it yet. And that can be very difficult. It is through this that we really form the person that we need to be. As cliche as it is, the journey is so much more than the destination. It is the person you become along the way. Because if you become the person that you need to be to achieve that goal, then you can just duplicate the results. Yet, if you were to enter a competition and win it straight away, then it's not going to ask much more of you. And then you're going to compete again and you'll show up and do the same thing and the same thing. And you don't learn and adapt and grow. And if you can manage your expectations and see the reality clearly of where you're at and be okay with that, that then gives you permission to show up, to do more, to be more, and achieve a bigger goal. Because if you live in this convoluted, is that even a convoluted world of delusion that you're so much better than what you are, you will never do the things you need to do to get better because you think you're already there all the time. So there'll be so many things along the way that you miss and you just don't do. Now, when people start to make change, like, okay, Dunning-Kruger effect, we understand, we've managed our expectations. We know this goal is going to take a huge, so much more effort than what we need. Well, then we start doing it and we can't, or we procrastinate, or we stop, or we do it for a little bit and then we change to a different thing and we change to a different thing. This is known as cognitive dissonance, and I'm going to read one of the trainings I put together for my clients for you on this. Cognitive dissonance is essentially when you hold two opposing thoughts about yourself and believe them both to be true. It is the feeling of discomfort you get when doing something and it does not make sense within the context of the way that you think about yourself. When people who want to lose weight, say they're overweight, when they start to go to the gym, that doesn't align with the identity they have for themselves. So they might hate the gym, they might despise the gym, yet the gym is the thing they need to do to get to the goal they want to achieve. But their identity is wrapped around someone that hates the gym. So when they start to do this, then they start to compare that external person, that different version of them, that isn't even an external person, it's just the beliefs of what they should or shouldn't be doing. They start to judge that and they have no association to it. So there's a disassociation of doing the thing that needs to be done and who they are on their core beliefs, their identity, their beliefs around themselves, their opinion of themselves. And there's a conflict here. This is the cognitive dissonance phase. And it's very hard for someone to start something new, a new task, a new job, label themselves in a new occupation, go from employee to business owner, go from overweight to fitspo. There is this resistance period where you are challenging the beliefs and identity of who you think you are to something new. And the two opposing thoughts are, I hate the gym and I'm not healthy, yet I want to go to the gym, so I should like the gym, but I don't. And exercise is healthy and I'm unhealthy. So I'm not the person that does this activity. It can be very hard at first because you're like, this place isn't for me. You can walk in there and also feel not only that, but the physical presence of people that are not like you at all. Speaking to someone who's very overweight, goes into a gym where there's people that are fit and lean and strong everywhere. I know I felt very out of place the first time I went to a gym. I was like, probably like, hand, you know how kids stand with their hand behind their back and one hand holds on to their forearm just below their elbow and do that awkward kind of swinging thing? I was probably doing that. First time I stepped to a gym, I was 21, 22 years old. And I would have been weighing in the vicinity of 57 kilo, 58 kilo at 5'9". I now weigh 74 kilo, and it was embarrassing. It was like I felt embarrassed in there. Not that anyone really cared that much. Yeah, my friends gave me some flack because I couldn't bench press like the 8 kilo dumbbells or I was shaking all over the place. My whole belief around that was, if you have energy for the gym at the end of the day, you're not working hard enough. Crazy, huh? And I would hold on to that and I would tell everyone that. So what happens is, when we start to implement new behaviors, our current identity and belief we have for ourselves gets challenged. And as we know, we are wired as humans to stay safe. Your caveman brain has not caught up to all the things around us and all the things happening. We are still wired for safety. That's why a lot of people will not take that leap into a business or a big venture. Some people will. They'll get over that stage. But we are wired as humans to stay safe. And what happens is we then justify this with our ego to do exactly that. The gym is uncomfortable. Bed is comfortable and warm. This is safe. This is security. This is comfort. And what is one more day of skipping the gym? Why does that even matter? And then we go down the path of justification, rationalization, and all of that. So studies have shown that when you begin new habits which don't align with your current belief about yourself, leaning into cognitive dissonance, and this is what I was talking about before, you will actually feel physical discomfort. And when this feeling of discomfort comes up, we want to feel better. So we do something that's comfortable and we avoid it. So anyone out there that's struggling to make change and get outside of their comfort zone, whether it's like dating or social circles or meeting new people in social circles, business ventures, going to the gym, starting that new hobby, going to a class where you're going to learn a skill or a hobby and you don't know what the fuck you're doing there, this is for you. That feeling isn't just something you experience. That feeling is something everyone else experiences when they're going to do something new. I hope that gives you a bit of a sense of relief, like oh fuck, everyone else goes through this as well. Because it is in that, and this is the difference. I speak to my clients about this all the time. They get challenged a lot inside my programs. You know, if you want something bigger and something more in life, this is the thing, and I will show you the path to get there. Business, relationships, health, whatever that is. These are 3 areas that I've created very good outside returns in my life. That initial push, that discomfort, the difference between people who are successful and not is the fact that successful people will feel that feeling of cognitive dissonance, will feel that lack of self-belief, that uncertainty, that worry, that anxiety, and they'll do it anyway. That is the only thing that will separate people at the start of their journey from making change, getting results, building the thing they want to build. And then there's other layers as we go along the journey, but initially, that is the thing you need to get over. And if you want to build a business, if that is your thing, you want to escape the 9 to 5, you want to build something that excites you, or maybe it doesn't excite you, it just gives you the life you want. You want to work 4 hours a day and earn $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month or whatever. There are so many people out there doing it. And you can baby step your way to this. If you're a guy listening to this, if you're a girl listening to this, and getting outside of your comfort zone could be going and speaking to someone of the opposite sex at a bar, at the gym, don't be creeping on people at the gym, at a yoga class, at the bookstore, at the cafe, like the park, wherever that is. This is what I refer to as a controlled stress application. This is what I take a lot of clients through in my programs. What we do is we find areas of life where they're playing small, or areas of life where they're currently showing up, and how do we expand on that? How do we build a bigger, stronger, more capable human? Now, there's 2 ways to change or get to the next level. 1, internal. We focus on all the stories, beliefs, shadow work, identity, patterns, subconscious, conscious mind, reframing, NLP techniques, all the stuff, right? Meditation, visualization, breath work. We can do all of these things. Breath work is more so on the other side, but we can do all these things, right? Yet, it can be a good experience. We can take good learnings. We can go to the seminar. We can buy the book. We can listen to the audiobook. We can fill in the worksheet. Yet, when we go back to life, nothing changes. That is because to unpack years of conditioning and the social constructs and beliefs and patterns and cycles and trauma responses and all these things can be very, very difficult. It can also be time consuming and it can take a lot from you. Or what I prefer, the easier way. I prefer to pair both of these, but the easier way is to create from the external. Now, some people might not agree with me on this. If you can create from the external, you will have what's known as an experiential lesson, which means you will take what you learn out there, you will feel it in your body, you will learn to notice that feeling of cognitive dissonance, be able to overcome it, and then you learn you are the motherfucker in the room that can do that thing you said you were going to do. Now you take that and you take it into the area you want to do it, or you baby step your way to that thing. An example would be if you're really nervous to go for a job interview, or you're nervous to pitch on sales, or let's talk about the conversational standpoint. You could this week, after you finish work, if you work in a city, go and speak to 20 people of the opposite sex and just have a conversation with them. Get over that fear of speaking to people. These people, a lot of the time, you're not going to see them again. Expand on those edges and find where your limits are and find what edges you can go to, because the more you expand on the edges, the bigger this comfort zone gets. And the more things you're comfortable with, the bigger area you can play in life with. The bigger area in life you're able to play in. And when you can play in a bigger arena, you get bigger results, you have a bigger income, and you have a bigger impact in the world. And why controlled stress application is so important, it's like if you're not choosing to put yourself in these situations, you will not grow, you will not expand, and you will not get better as a person. So you are letting down the people around you because you're staying stagnant, you're staying still, and you're letting yourself down. Think about it like this. You are either creating the identity, creating the person you want to be, or those around you are creating it for you. What do I mean by that? Well, it's like you're showing up in the world, and if you're not truly expressing yourself, setting boundaries, setting your own personal standards of the things you want to do and you want to create in the world, you will be put into someone else's box. You are either building your brand, your business, your product, your thing, or you're building someone else's. That is it. You are selling someone else's product, you are selling someone else's service. Even if you're doing administration, whatever that is, you are another cog in the wheel of someone else's idea and contribution to the world. Now, if you are listening to content like this, there is part of you that is coming from a more purpose, heartfelt space that you probably want a bigger impact and contribution to the world. That is why you watch content like this. That is why I watch content like this. Now, if you reframe this, that you are coming from a genuine heart-centered place and you want better for yourself, you want better for those around you, well, it's on you. You are responsible now to make that happen. Or you are another cog in the wheel at some other grandmaster's plan and you don't even know the intentions they have on the world. So you will either be assigned a role in the world or you will create a role. It's up to you. You get to decide on that. This is another reframe on a similar topic. So when you play video games, sometimes at the start of the game, there's an option, easy, medium, or hard. If you're consistently choosing the easy level in life, you will not expand, you will not get better, and you will not develop the skills that you need to play on those other levels. Now, when you come up to a certain point in life, you'll come up to this point, you cannot avoid it, shit will go down. Something will happen, and you need to show up physically, emotionally, intellectually, financially, to support those that you really care about, or maybe even yourself. There is no worse feeling, especially as a man, that having been in a situation like that, knowing if you put in work outside of this current situation before then, you would be in a position to financially support those you genuinely love and care about, to physically handle an altercation when someone's coming at your partner in the street. Men, I'm speaking to you. Women, your man should be handling this, not you. To financially support, to emotionally support, to hold and create a safe, nurturing place for people you love when they need to confide in you. To intellectually be able to come to the table and solve problems and be that place of certainty for those of your partners in business, your co-workers, those loved ones around you as well, because there's going to be intellectual problems. So There is no worse feeling than getting to this place and feeling helpless. No one has ever achieved fulfillment, purpose, deep satisfaction in their work from a 5% effort in something. Like, if you were to run the 100 meters and you're trying to beat Usain Bolt, I don't know who the number one man is right now, and you literally got off the couch once a week and ran 100 meters and then you got a gold, it would mean nothing to you. That is the same thing when we set these goals, when we set these benchmarks. And the problem with the world right now is that people are overestimating their own ability in the world by looking at all the shit and the 1% of people that might even be building something online, and that 20-year-old kid earning $50,000 a month, working 6 hours a day, which in his rented Lamborghini with a fake story. A lot of it is that, not all of it. But we're comparing ourselves to this 1% of the world. Yet, you're not putting in the effort that you need to right now. And if you're listening to this, maybe you are. And you'll know, those know who have put in the work, who have put in the effort to become a bigger, better, more capable version of themselves, know the fulfillment, purpose, and joy. When your head hits the pillow at night, knowing that you have a deep satisfaction in the work you do. Those that scroll day in, day out on their phone, tick the box at work, tick the box at the gym, kind of go through their workout, don't even go to the gym, eat shitty food, there becomes this deep lack. And I speak to so many, like I've worked with over hundreds of clients over the last few years, and I know that that place of lack comes from a place of not having clarity around who you are and what you truly want. And if you don't have clarity on who you are and what you truly want, the number one thing you need to do right now is get out in the world, try shit, and build awareness to how you feel when you do these things. Very, very broad, basic advice, but I can dive into this deeper on one of the other episodes. And when you're not showing up in the world, there are so many things you're missing that you're not even aware of. I like to see this as an opportunity cost. It's like, since you're not putting yourself in circles, since you're not showing up a certain way, since you're not committing to the things in the dark that you said you were going to do when no one else is around, people can sense this, people know to this. There's a reason why sometimes when someone walks in the room or someone walks on stage and everyone's like, something about this guy, something about this girl. What is that? There's a deep sense of certainty in themselves. Sometimes it's not even the way they hold themselves or the way they speak. It's just their energy, what they bring into the room. And when I say opportunity cost, what I mean is there are so many things that are available to you every single day, but if you're not having the conversation, you're not putting yourself in those circles, when you start playing in a bigger arena of life, what you start to learn is you build this internal pattern that when you feel a certain way, this is how you show up. This is how you react. This is how you respond. And what happens here is you build momentum in all the things you're doing. This is why people use, sometimes people can tell people, make your bed every morning. Well, there is validity to that, because making your bed is a win in the morning. Putting your shit away in your room, putting the dishes away, like having your office space clean and tidy. As I look at my office space, it is a fucking mess right now. These are all the things that can stack little wins. And it might sound so silly and irrelevant, but it is those little things that if you can't get any big wins on the board right now, control what you can control. What can you start doing? If you commit to 30 minutes of cardio every single day, you do until the clock hits 3:000 on that treadmill, on that Stairmaster. You don't stop at 28, you don't stop at 29, you don't stop at 29:50. You see that thing through. For me right now, my challenge inside my community, we have a physical challenge month. And in here, my challenge is to shave a minute off my 5K time. My quickest time is like spot on 20 minutes for 5K. So many parts of myself have wanted to not do this challenge. I committed to it on a call. Within 5 minutes, I made a decision. And I started to think, oh, well, no, I'm trying to increase my athletic performance in my explosiveness, my vertical leap. It doesn't align with that goal. I've got a bit of a sore knee now. Oh, like I've actually got a really bad shoulder. I got to train legs every day. And like all these things came up. But I said to myself, and I said to the guys on the call, that this is what I'm committed to. So if you always leave a back door, you will always take it. And if you make that decision that that door is closed, you show up and you find out what's really on the inside. This is why we do an external physical challenge, because it shows us internally what's coming up for us, what we get to be with and what we get to overcome, and notice the stories and choose something different. The other day, I gave it my absolute all and I ran a 19:30 5K. 30 seconds short. I was yelling and screaming by the end of it. 16 minutes, I was like, fuck this, I'm done. 17 minutes, I was like, okay, now we're going. We got the last few minutes, let's go. And all I could think about, this is the thing I love about accountability, all I could think about was my fiance, Selena, because we're very competitive and we both challenged each other to this as well, but also the guys in the program as well. It's like I'm showing up and said I committed to this. So like I'm going to see this through no matter what. And when I got the 19:30, yeah, it was frustrating. I'm 30 seconds short of it. But I also knew, now I know, so this is the thing, right? Now I know what I need to do next time. I know the speed I need to start at. I know the speed I need to hold. If you're not getting in the arena and you're not playing the games, you do not know what's needed to get into the arena and play the games and compete at that level. So find areas in your life right now where you can create a controlled, stressful application. Get into that space, see how you show up, see the stories, see the resistance, see the beliefs, the patterns play out in these situations. I'm going to give you a few examples right now. I would love if you guys do this, message me under the video, drop me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to hear what your challenges are and what you're going for. And I'd love to hear your experience as well, because what we're doing here with this long form content is we really want to create a community of people taking action. Every episode I'm going to say this. Find one thing in here and action it in your life. You will get results. Watching this video and going back and scrolling and going to the next thing, you probably won't get results. Or you'll just plant a seed and maybe in 10 years you'll do it. And we really want results now. And you can have results now. So a controlled stressful application could be cold exposure every single day. Ice bath, cold shower, whatever. It could be running a certain distance every single day. It could be sitting in meditation a certain amount of time every day. It could be stretching every single day. And it can be things that, if you love running and you're already running 5K a day, running 6K a day isn't going to be a stressful application to really find out what's inside. It could be cold approach. Cold approach mean speaking to someone of the opposite sex, getting uncomfortable, finding out their name, chatting to them, seeing what comes up for you, working through that. Okay, I'm going to do 10 people a day every single day. I'm going to cold call businesses for my service. I'm going to do 20 of them a day. I'm going to do 100 of them a day. Whatever level you want to play out, whatever is going to get you uncomfortable. I'm going to go to a yoga class this week. I say yoga because I just don't enjoy yoga and it's uncomfortable for me. I'm going to go to a workshop. I'm going to go to a class and learn a new skill. I'm going to speak to people at the cafe, not even trying to hit on them. I might just have a conversation with someone because that's uncomfortable for me. I have social anxiety. Like, choose your thing and the thing you want to work on. I'm going to join a gym this week and I'm going to go 5 days a week no matter how uncomfortable I feel. I'm going to fast for 40 hours. I'm going to fast for 24 hours. Like, there are so many different ways you can put yourself into these uncomfortable situations and see what comes up. The whole intention is to notice the stories and notice the justifications and rationalizations that come up and the lessons you learned about yourself. If you are here by this time on the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It helps me reach more people. I do all these trainings for free so you guys can get results. I can bring value to your life and you can start seeing change and get to that next level in business, relationships, and life without investing any money. All you got to do is invest your time and energy, which is the most important resources you have to start getting results. And by you liking, sharing, subscribing, that really helps me in growing the channel as well. So guys, I've absolutely loved this episode today. It is a huge one on making change. If you can understand the concepts that I share in here and notice when they're coming up in your life, you will see change, you will see results, you will have a better life, you will attract a high-level partner, you will deepen your relationship, you will get paid more money, you will get a better job, you will get that business off the ground, you will get in the best shape of your life. All of these things are on the other side of your current identity. And how do we change that? Externally, putting ourselves into controlled, stressful applications, seeing what comes up, choosing what we do, picking a new story, and getting a new result and outcome. Peace.